IOPL offers three very critical categories of education, experience, and exposure. Lacking any one of those, it's an incomplete process. Through education, we get the technical knowledge of the political process. Through the experience, we go into a TV studio, we go into a radio studio, and we actually do those things that a candidate would do as part of the campaign. And then the exposure. The exposure not only to people established in the political community, secretaries of state, former campaign managers, advertising and polling people who are renowned experts in their field, but also exposure to the opposite political opinion that you get from your colleagues in the IOPL class.
Now, during the semester, I imagine there are many different political viewpoints coming in,
yes,
sharing this experience together. How did you find that, having to sit with people who have different ideas than you, who see the world differently, or did you all pretty much agree on things?
Well, our class was unique in two ways. One, we were the first class to not have a female in it. So we've been an all-male class. But we were evenly balanced. We had 7 Republicans, 7 Democrats, and 1 independent. And within those groups, you had variations of liberal and conservative viewpoints even within the 2 political party affiliations. And we've had cases where conservative Democrats would agree with Republicans on some things, and some of the more moderate Republicans would agree with the Democrats on some things. And so having that dialogue itself allowed us to see, yes, there is a way that people from opposing political parties can sit down and have a reasonable dialogue and come to an agreement on things.
And any surprises in there?
No, actually no real surprises to me personally, from my perspective, no.
So you sort of expected that once everyone was at the table, they would find a common ground, things to agree on, things they would agree to disagree about, but still move forward.
I think we're all wrestling with a perception that we are seeing in IOPL versus what the public at large believes. There's so many people out there in the public right now that are saying you have to stand on your values. You can't compromise. If we're ever going to turn this country around, it's got to be this way and this way only. And yet you come in here to IOPL and you participate in the very debate that our elected representatives participate in, and you come to realize that yes, this country doesn't benefit because any one group totally dominates over the other. It is that compromise, it is that negotiation that makes America work for everybody, that moves the political process forward and preserves its validity as a viable system of government.
If you were asked to explain the Institute to a prospective contributor, what would you tell them to justify their investments?
Contributing to IOPL in any form is a direct investment in the future of this state. The people who attend IOPL are those who, for whatever reason, believe they could somehow make a positive difference. And those donations and their support of the Institute helps transform those dreams into a reality. As Dave Ramsey likes to say, the difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. And the IOPL experience allows many people out there who felt it within themselves that there must be a way I can make a difference, and provides them with those incremental steps that they can learn that they need to take to make their dream a reality. It gives them that vehicle to actually get involved and make a difference.
And if you could recommend a change or something to improve the Institute, what would that be?
I've given a lot of thought to the curriculum development, and I think there's several options that they can explore, such as a combination of weekend attendance and correspondence type modules that could be completed in advance of attendance at the program to reduce the number of weekends involved and thereby make it appealing to a broader audience.
So you mean students outside of the the group that starts for each semester, you mean to open it up on the weekends for other people to come in, or do you mean to make the program more flexible?
Actually, a bit of both. Right now, the market slice that can participate are those who are able to give 10 weekends in a 6-month period. And that eliminates a lot of people, unfortunately. And if we could come up with a structured alternative that would provide the same level, either that or go with a multi-tier approach. Instead of a full fellowship, maybe an apprentice level entry, where people come in and commit 3 or 4 weekends to get them in, get their feet wet, so to speak. And then on that basis, they would know even more about what they can expect to get. And I think it would bring even more people to make that firm commitment to go through the entire program.
What would you tell someone who is interested in running for public office about why they should come to the Institute?
We all deal with 3 bodies of knowledge in life. What we know we don't know, and then what we don't even suspect. And to me, IOPL falls in that 3rd category, because even though I thought I knew what the IOPL experience was going to be like coming into it, I've been pleasantly surprised by the very depth and breadth of the exposure that we've gotten here. And so it's a way of impressing upon them, regardless of how much you know about the political process or where you think your personal role may be in it, IOPL will open doors for you that you don't even expect exist. And
would you tell me how you experienced that, or how you came to realize that during the course of the program?
The perception I had when I came in was that I had no intention of running for public office. It was not a lack of self-confidence by any measure. Again, I believe I'm much better serving by training 12 people to do what I know and do than by simply going out and doing it myself. But yet, as I understand the critical need for leadership in political office, maybe there's a way I can do both. So maybe there is a role for me to play in actually holding public office and still do, in a leadership capacity, what I originally intended to do.
So through the course of the program, it inspired you perhaps to
without a doubt.
Run for office.
Without a doubt.
And now you feel confident that you could, well, I think you've never lacked in confidence, sir, but you feel like you have the tools to do that.
Oh, without a doubt. There's so many elements to creating a campaign plan, all of the various considerations that go into it beyond just the sheer logistics of raising money and getting votes. In my military experience, we were taught the strategic planning model of ways, means, and ends. What you want to do, how you want to do it, and what resources you have to accomplish it with. And so this has been a good blend of what I already understood as a planning process, but it took me to a level of understanding of how that is applied in the political arena that I could not have foreseen without the understanding that I gained in IOPL.
What does it take to be a great leader?
Leadership is never a matter of position, rank, or authority. Leadership is a personal characteristic above all else. In order to be an effective leader, the first thing you have to do is be responsible and accountable for yourself. Because if you're not, there's no way you can be responsible and accountable for others. I think it is a personal mindset of how you perceive your role in the events and occurrences going on around you in the broader world. And there are people who naturally want to be the positive influence that shapes that, rather than the bystander who just sits by, watches what happens, and wonders how it's going to affect them.
What was the most important thing you've learned being a fellow at the Institute?
The thing that I'm taking away from IOPL, probably above all, is not just how this can benefit me personally, but how I can now take the skill sets that I've developed and pass them on to other people. In my military experience, it was all about training the trainer, leadership development. So I look at this not only how I can advance my own political career, but how I can help other people move forward in their political experience.